Mr. Batra Daf Sadi Bet Amud Aleph New Perek Hamo Khair Perot Lahavirov, someone selling fruits to his friend. And he didn't mention what type of fruits am I selling. Am I selling you fruits to eat or to use the seeds for planting? Mizra'an, and the guy used it to plant, nothing grew. But I feel zira pishan, even if it was flaxseed, which is an item that's usually purchased just to plant for. And no, I am not responsible. The seller is not responsible to replace it because I never said that I'm giving you planting seeds. Rabbi Shimon bar Gamliel Rashbag says if the sale was for a garden seeds, yani which are only meant for planting, not for eating, then it was an understanding that I'm buying for planting, and I would be responsible to replace them. Itmar. Hamacher shor lahavir, someone sold an ox to his friend, and he found out to be that this ox was a goring ox, and therefore you can't keep it around for plowing, but rather you probably just have to slaughter it to eat it. Rav says, this is an error sale and I have to get a refund. Ushmul Mashma says, no, the seller could tell him, I sold you an ox for slaughtering. I never told you I'm selling you an ox for plowing. The Rambam says, let's see, what type of guy are we dealing with? If this guy usually buys oxen for slaughter, then maybe everybody should agree that it was meant for slaughter and it should be a good sale. But if the guy is usually buying plowing oxen, then it would have been assumed that he's buying for plowing, and then he should be eligible for a refund. Maybe it's some other case where he buys both, and therefore no automatic inference. Let's see what the purchase price was. Maybe we can check based off the price because a plowing ox is usually worth more. The word says, let's see how the can't can't check into it because meat at that point could have been high value, and therefore it wouldn't be able to discern whether it was a plowing ox or a slaughter ox sale. The company made it idea, and it was the same price. Okay, yeah, that's the case. The man same price. Instead of a $10,000 plowing ox, it's a $10,000 slaughtering ox. Then who cares? He made his money back. Where it says no, technically I want a refund because I don't want to deal with taking care of his ox to slaughter it. I don't want to slaughter it. I don't want to deal with this. Refund me. You slaughter it. You take care of the sale. I don't care. That's the machloket. Now let's go deeper into the case. If there's no flus for the buyer to get a refund from Yani, the seller has no other money. Obviously, the guy's going to keep the ox because the guy doesn't have money to refund him. Then obviously, to keep the ox. People say, someone who owes you money and he only has bran left, yani very, very cheap materials, take it because you never know if the guy's going to be able to pay you back. Therefore, obviously, even according to Rav, the guy would rather keep the ox. So what's the machloket? The word does lo tzricha the equal there's other money in the possession. Rav Amar, therefore, Rav says, Rav says that the reason why you owe a refund is because most sales are for plowing, and therefore, most oxen are for plowing, and therefore you gave him an incorrect ox. Shmuel says no. When we go by rov, when we go by majority, but Isur is referring to Isur halachot when you're not allowed to do stuff and you're not sure if it's kosher meat, not kosher meat. That's when we go by rov. But more than that, we don't go by money cases. We don't go by majority. Siman isha be'eved shor b'rishkin b'rot. There's a question. Isha shnit amalna on shnit garsha, a woman who was widowed or divorced. Now she's coming to collect her ketubah. The human, she says, Betulana City, I was married as a virgin, and therefore my ketubah is worth 200 zuz. Right? The classic amount of money, Masechet Kiddushin. A virgin woman gets, a Betulah gets 200 zuz. A non-Betulah, an Almanah, for example, would get 100 zuz. So she says, when I was married to Betulah, and therefore I am owed 200. The husband says, no, look, I married you when you were a widow. And if it's someone in a case where the husband died, then it's someone his kids. Therefore, she only owed 100 zuz. Halakha is as follows. If there are witnesses that she went out of her father's house when she got married, she had a special veil that only Betulot would wear, and she never had her hair covered at the time of marriage, therefore it must be that she was a Betulah, and therefore she should get 200 zuz. But if she doesn't prove it, then she gets 100. The Gemara says the only reason why we need edim the only time you accept her testimony, quote unquote, or her claim is when there's witnesses. If there's no witnesses, then she not believe. But my why would according to Rav, she shouldn't even need it a deep. Why? Let's go according to the majority. Most women get married when they are bitulah. So we see obviously maybe Rav, the concept of Rav doesn't apply to Rav. Gemara says Ravina says no. Because possibly we could say even though most women get married as betulot, only minority get married as widows or non-virgins. But however, we also know, or another thing exists, another variable. Most marriages as a betula, it's public knowledge. Oh, you heard who got married? The young lady from down the block. So people know about this thing. So the fact, since over here we don't have anybody testifying. Let me go enjoy my theatrics. Since there's no public knowledge regarding this one, no one's backing up her claim. That takes away from her off. Yes, the majority do get married, but the fact that you don't have that public knowledge, people didn't talk about your wedding day. Therefore, we say she loses her claim, and therefore she would only get 100 unless she brings witnesses and to get 200. If you're saying that most women get married as bitulot, they have public knowledge. What's the difference if she has witnesses? Maybe let's go the other way. If most women who get married as bitula have public knowledge or surrounding it, there's hype, and this woman doesn't have hype. If you bring witnesses, maybe the witnesses are lying. Gemara says, okay, let's fix it. Most women who get mitted as bitulot, there is hype. Regarding this woman, maybe since there's no knowledge, the majority, the rov that she has with her is weakened, and therefore she needs witnesses. Okay, Tajma. Slave to his friend. The slave, after he sold him, he ended up being a thief, or he ended up finding out that he's a thief or like a kidnapper, bad guy. Higio, good sale, slave goes through, you can't refund. You can't force a refund. Listim mizuyan. If let's say the guy was an armed robber, this guy was a part of the cartel, and possibly a murderer, or muhtal mahud, let's say he was sentenced to death by the government and he's a fugitive. Omer lo, the buyer can tell the seller, take it back, I get a refund, no questions asked. Now, in the first case, where the guy was just a regular thief. Why is the sale going through? Maybe because most slaves are either thieves and kidnappers. So we see that we do go by rov, by majority. The Gemara says, look, the reason why the sale goes through is not because of majority, it's because 99%, right? It's not 51% are thieves. It's because 99.999%, or the rest says all, but not obviously not every single one, but all of them are believed and assumed to be not of the upstanding citizens, and therefore it's as if the seller told you, "I'm selling you a thief. I'm selling you a slave. I'm selling you a thief," and therefore the buyer was already accepted. He can't come and complain he's a regular thief. If the guy was part of the cartel, then you have a claim.